All right, I'm going to be sharing with you the latest photos and articles coming out on what they're saying is a volcano that is erupting after the 8.8 magnitude earthquake struck yesterday evening, and we saw tsunami warnings going out across the Pacific. Take a look at the articles with me. I'm going to share with you the photos that are coming out on this. I don't have video footage, I misspoke, but I do have photographs that we're going to be taking a look at here as 8.8 magnitude earthquake, the latest. A volcano erupts in Russia. Tsunami waves reach California. A camera captures the eruption of the Klyuchevskaya Skopa volcano. Volcano in Russia's far east erupts after huge Pacific earthquake. Now, the volcano erupted after a huge 8.8 magnitude earthquake caused tsunami waves in the Pacific. And here's another one. Russia's volcano starts erupting after the earthquake. And here's another live update for you on the tsunami. Tsunami evacuation orders have been lifted in Hawaii. The threat to the West Coast has eased. On the live updates, the tsunami alert that was in place and was still going on throughout the rest of the day, as they were saying there was still the potential for this to take place. And now we're hearing volcano is erupting in Russia after that quake. Man, let me know your thoughts. Now, I've been hearing a ton of conspiracy theories across the board, but you can't count them out nowadays because come to find out later on that the conspiracy theories were actually right. Let me know your thoughts. Now, I have heard across social media that this is just natural taking place. I've heard other people say this is weather manipulation. I've heard people say that God is angry with Russia right now. And I've also heard some people speculate that this was some sort of underground nuclear test with Russia that went bad, which caused all of this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Was this God mad at Russia? Was this natural? Was this a nuclear bomb that went off? Or is this weather manipulation? Is this, I think they said HARP. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Which one? Put which one you think it is. There's 4 different theories that I've heard. And I'd be curious to see what people think. Now, I'm going to share with you, like I said, the articles coming out. These are going to be cited in the description. I always cite my sources, put it on the screen, read right from it so you can see it for yourself. You can see the dates, the sources, and you can know and rest assured that this is the latest. Now, if you appreciate that, do me a favor before we dive in. Take a quick second, hit that thumbs up like button. When you do that, it helps spread this out further across the YouTube platform so more people can get the latest updated information regarding this eruption of a Russian volcano that's now taking place. It's being reported. There are photographs coming out after this 8.8 record-setting magnitude earthquake that struck Russia. They're saying it is the 6th largest earthquake that we have seen on record so far since the recordings back to since 1900. So this was massive, and it sent those ripple effect waves throughout the entire Pacific Ocean, and there was tsunami alerts. Now, luckily, there was no damages, there was no loss of life. We're hearing that the waves did not get huge, but now we're seeing the eruption of this volcano. So let me know your thoughts. I'm seeing somebody say HARP, somebody else saying God. A lot of people are saying God is not happy with Russia. Wow. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Also, if this is your first time here, don't forget, take a quick second, hit the subscribe button. It's totally free. I will keep you up to speed on everything that's going on so you know exactly what is taking place around the world. But let's go ahead and take a look at this article first here from Newsweek. That's going to give us some photos of the volcano that is erupting right now after the earthquake in Russia. Let's take a look at this. Now, this article says the Klyuchevskaya volcano on Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula began erupting on Wednesday today following a powerful earthquake off of Russia's far eastern coast. Lava began flowing from what is the largest active volcano in the northern hemisphere, the Russian Academy of Science United Geophysical Service said in a post on Telegram. A descent of burning hot lava is observed on the western slope. Powerful glow above the volcano's explosion. Here's one of the photos you can see. There are a couple of photos. We're going to be able to take a look at what is going on in Russia right now after this massive quake. Volcano erupted hours after huge earthquake. Now, the eruption occurred just hours after a huge 8.8 magnitude earthquake early Wednesday, triggered a tsunami that sent waves across the Pacific, prompting evacuations and emergency declarations from Russia to Hawaii and alerts as far as south as New Zealand. Now, the quake is tied for the sixth strongest ever recorded and was upgraded from the initial 8.0 reading. Now, this particular volcano erupted after the earthquake in Russia's far east. And here you can see it says, I guess these are all of the aftershocks and the impacts that were taking place. Look at those dots just going nuts. And then there you can see the volcano is just to the north of that where this eruption is taking place. So here's what to know. Located in the Kamchatka region where this volcano is, I'm going to stop trying to pronounce it. It stands at 4,750 meters and last erupted in 2023. The volcano is situated approximately 280 miles or 450 kilometers north of the regional capital of Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky, according to the Kamchatka branch of the Russian Academy of Science Geophysical Service. Observers reported explosions and visible streams of lava on the volcano's western slope. Now, scientists had been predicting the eruption for weeks, noting that the volcano's craters had been gradually filling with lava and that the mountain had been emitting ash plumes. During the day on Wednesday, the volcano sent ash plumes as high as about 1.9 miles or 3 kilometers above sea level, Russian news outlet Meduza reported, referencing state media reports. And here's another photo of the eruption that is taking place. Russian volcano exploding after that earthquake. Now, on July 19th, the Institute of Volcanology and Seismology at the Russian Academy of Sciences Far Eastern Branch published an image of the volcano on Telegram showing a lens-shaped cloud above the crater illuminated by the lava flow. Oh, actually, I apologize. Take a look at this picture yet again. It says this is a photo from 2021. This is not from what is taking place at this time. So this is a different time frame right here, but it's that same volcano. Now, it looks like this is a photo of what's actually taking place right now. You can see Volcano 2025, July 30th. Now, Kamchatka, often referred to as the land of fire and ice, is one of the world's most seismically active volcano regions, with around 300 volcanoes, 29 of which are active, according to NASA's Earth Observatory. The Tokyo Volcanic Ash Advisory Center has issued an advisory for the eruption, reporting that ash is moving east at 10 knots and could spread hundreds of kilometers in the coming hours. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this article as well. Volcano in Russia's Far East erupts after huge Pacific earthquake. The volcano erupted after a huge 8.8 magnitude earthquake caused tsunami waves in the Pacific. It says Russia's volcano has erupted on the Kamchatka Peninsula following a powerful earthquake in the Pacific on Wednesday. Scientists describe the descent of burning hot lava down the slopes of one of the world's highest active volcanoes, hours after a huge 8.8 magnitude earthquake rocked the region and prompted tsunami waves in the Pacific. Now, this volcano, which erupted several times over recent years, is located approximately 450 kilometers north of Kamchatka, the regional capital. The Russian Academy of Science United Geophysical Services confirmed the eruption, stating on Telegram, a descent of burning hot lava is observed on the western slope, powerful glow above the volcanic explosion. Wednesday's 8.8 magnitude quake off Kamchatka damaged buildings and injured several people in the remote Russian region, but no fatalities were reported. The tsunami danger already appeared to be lessening in some places, with authorities downgrading their warnings in Hawaii, Japan, and parts of Russia. Residents fled inland as ports flooded on Kamchatka near the quake's epicenter, while frothy, white waves washed up on the shore in northern Japan. Cars jammed streets and highways in Honolulu with standstill traffic even in areas away from the sea. Now, people flocked to evacuation centers in affected areas of Japan, with memories fresh of the 2011 earthquake and tsunami that caused reactor meltdowns at a nuclear power plant. No abnormalities in operations at Japan's nuclear plants were reported on Wednesday. Now, a tsunami height of 3 to 4 meters, or 10 to 13 feet, was recorded in Kamchatka, 60 centimeters, or 2 feet, on Japan's northern island of Hokkaido, while tsunami waves of about 2 to 5 feet high reached San Francisco early Wednesday, officials said. Much of the west coast, spanning California, Oregon, Washington state, and the Canadian province of British Columbia, were under a tsunami advisory. Now, Hawaii was still under a tsunami advisory as Wednesday began, but evacuation orders on the Big Island and Oahu, the most populated islands, had been lifted. Now, the impact of the tsunami could last for hours or perhaps more than a day, said David Snyder, tsunami warning coordinator with the National Tsunami Warning Center in Alaska. A tsunami is not just one wave, he said. It's a series of powerful waves over a long period of time. Tsunamis cross the ocean at hundreds of miles an hour, as fast as a jet airplane in deep water. But when they get close to the shore, they slow down and start to pile up, and that's where the inundation problem becomes a little bit more possible there. Now, Danila Chebrov, director of the Kamchatka branch of the Geophysical Service, said on Telegram, aftershocks are currently ongoing. Their intensity will remain fairly high. However, stronger tremors are not expected in the near future. No one has been seriously injured, and there haven't been reports of major damage, with the level of danger already appearing to be lessening in some places. Parts of Japan have been downgraded in their warnings, while authorities on the Kamchatka Peninsula canceled their tsunami warning. And you can see where the warnings were all along the western coast of North America. Chile, however, has upgraded its warning to the highest level for most of its Pacific coast and is now evacuating hundreds of people. In French Polynesia, authorities warned residents of some of the remote Marquesas Islands to move to higher ground and expect waves as high as 2.5 meters as waves started to hit some islands in the early hours on Wednesday. Authorities in Ecuador's Galapagos Islands also ordered the precautionary evacuation of people living in vulnerable coastal areas on Wednesday. And let's go ahead and take a look at this one as well here. Coming out today, 8.8 magnitude earthquake's latest. Volcano erupts in Russia. Tsunami waves reach California. So this is going to be covering all of those elements, the earthquake, the tsunami, and the volcano. A massive magnitude 8.8 earthquake struck off of Russia's Pacific coast, triggering tsunami warnings and evacuations of coastal areas in Hawaii and alerts along the United States west coast. The intense quake, about 85 miles off the east coast of Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula, was one of the most powerful earthquakes ever recorded and the world's largest since 2011. Now, the U.S. impact in the United States. Initial tsunami waves washed ashore on Hawaii's island of Oahu, sending people scrambling to evacuate. Residents were urged to leave beaches and low-lying areas for higher ground and to take shelter on at least the fourth floor of a building. Sirens sounded across the Hawaiian Islands 10 minutes after each hour for the 3 hours leading up to the expected impact as a part of the statewide warning system. Now, Hawaii Governor Josh Green told reporters early Wednesday that the state had so far not seen a wave of consequence, calling it a great relief, though he warned that there could be more waves. He said high waves could knock down utility poles and scatter debris. Other parts of the Pacific U.S., coastal areas of Alaska, Oregon, Washington, and California were also placed under tsunami advisories. Tsunami waves were recorded in Monterey, California, and San Francisco overnight, but none caused significant issues. In California, tsunami advisories remain in effect in Santa Barbara and San Luis Obispo counties, and they have been discontinued in Los Angeles and Ventura counties. But whether an advisory is in effect or not, stay out of the water and harbors as currents will be strong, the National Weather Service in Los Angeles warned. The U.S. territories of Guam and the American Samoa were also put under tsunami advisories. All tsunami warnings have since been discontinued in the U.S. Crescent City, which is along the coast by the California-Oregon border. This was the final U.S. location to discontinue its tsunami warning on Wednesday morning. Officials there said wave activity peaked at about 3.5 feet, and there were no reports of any injuries. Now, the quake also impacted travel. Hawaiian Airlines, Alaskan Airlines said they would resume flights on Wednesday morning after a pause due to the tsunami warnings. Tsunami warnings and alerts around the world. The full extent of the impact of the quake is not yet known. In Russia, a camera captured the eruption of the Klakshevskaya Spoka volcano, the highest mountain in the region, sending hot lava down its western slopes. The quake led to tsunami warnings for all of northern Japan, forcing more than 2 million people to evacuate. Japan's meteorological agency warned that a tsunami about 3 feet high was expected to reach Hokkaido. The Japan Meteorological Agency later revised tsunami warnings to lower-level advisories, but said that people should still exercise caution. Elsewhere in the Pacific region, French Polynesian, Samoa, Solomon Islands, Fiji, Marshall Islands, Kiribati, New Caledonia, the Cook Islands, Nauru, Australia, and the Philippines issued various levels of tsunami alerts, plus warnings of expected strong currents and possible flooding. In Central and South America, tsunami warnings or watches were put in place. Chile, Peru, Ecuador, Costa Rica, Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, and Colombia as well. So there you have it, you guys. These tsunami warnings being lifted, and now we're hearing that there is a volcano erupting in Russia after we've seen all of this taking place. And we saw some of the photos coming out of this eruption, and you can see right here a timeline of all of the aftershocks that were taking place after that 8.8 magnitude earthquake. Now, in addition to that, let's take a look at this. Tsunami evacuation orders have been lifted in Hawaii. The threat to the West Coast has eased. This is a live update just coming out in the past hour to give us the latest as to where things currently stand. And again, do me a favor if you haven't done so yet. I see we've got 2,700 people on with me live. If we could get half the room to hit the like button, that would be awesome. If we get that up to 1,300 likes. If you haven't hit the like button yet, you appreciate the updates, please do so. And also, let me know your thoughts. Again, I've heard several different theories as to what's going on. This is a natural disaster. God is mad at Russia. This is potentially a nuclear bomb that went off. Or I've heard people say that this is weather manipulation. Let me know in the comments what you think it is. I see Sky Dragon saying HARP 3.0. I see somebody else saying that God is angry. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and hit that like button. Now, this article coming out from USA Today, this is a live feed coming out in just the past hour. Tsunami waves reach Hawaii and the West Coast after a historically powerful earthquake struck off of Russia's coastline. But evacuation orders and an advisory in Hawaii were later lifted, and beaches in Los Angeles County reopened on Wednesday as the threat to the U.S. shores have eased. Russian officials reported little damage from the 8.8 magnitude tremor on Tuesday, the shaker creating tsunami waves that began arriving in Hawaii after 7 p.m. local time. Authorities brace for the possibility of major damage. Tsunamis can cause a long series of waves, flood coastal areas, and present other dangers for hours. Now, less than 4 hours later, however, the risk to Hawaii has been downgraded from a tsunami warning to an advisory, which was dropped in the morning. There were no reports of serious damage. Coastal areas of California, Oregon, and Washington also canceled their advisories as well. I spoke to the governor of Hawaii, and the evacuation order has been lifted for coastal inundation zones. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem posted on social media on July 30th, "Please be careful when returning and watch out for damage. We will continue to monitor in Hawaii, Alaska, and California." State emergency management officials in Hawaii said widespread flooding was expected, but they urged residents to remain cautious in or near the water, stay away from beaches, shorelines, and out of the ocean. Now, developments. Chile and Colombia issued evacuation orders for their Pacific coastlines, and Chile also extended the precautions to its eastern island, about 2,300 miles off of the mainland. Likewise, Ecuador ordered evacuations for parts of its Galapagos Islands. Now, automated alerts for the axial seamount, the underwater volcano off of the Oregon coast, were triggered by the giant earthquake and subsequent tsunami. It was a false alarm. So, man, concern of a potential other underwater volcano taking place near Oregon, they're saying it was a false alarm, though. The volcano did not erupt, and it hasn't since April of 2015. Now, the Marquesas Islands, part of the French Polynesians in the South Pacific, were hit by smaller waves than previously feared. Officials canceled their tsunami alert. Tsunami advisory canceled in California. In California, Los Angeles beaches reopened, and a tsunami advisory was canceled for San Diego and Orange County. Later in the day, an advisory for most of the state's coastline was lifted as well. However, the portion from the Oregon border south to the county line between Humboldt and Del Norte remained under an advisory. Now, the National Weather Service office in Los Angeles said strong currents will continue along the state's coast, including those parts under a tsunami advisory, at least through Wednesday. Although widespread inundation isn't expected, localized damage at harbors is possible because of the water surging in and out. Port San Luis in the Central Coast, including Avila Beach, will be of particular concern. Tsunami waves began arriving overnight at Crescent City and Humboldt Bay on California's northern coast. Crescent City is located along a stretch of the western coast considered most vulnerable to tsunamis based on previous events, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The waves get amplified in the area and are higher in the city's harbor than at other locations along the coast. A tsunami advisory is in effect for coastal Del Norte, Humboldt, and Mendocino counties. The Weather Service in Eureka posted on X on July 30th. Tsunami waves of 1 to 3 feet are still observed early this morning. Avoid beaches and harbors. Now, drastic weather levels shifts in Hawaii and California. Water levels continue to surge back and forth within minutes at tide gauges in Hawaii and along the U.S. West Coast. One of the biggest surges was seen at Kahului Harbor on the northern coast of Maui. As the tsunami began to arrive, the NOAA tide gauge station shows that the water receded to a level of minus 2.35 feet, then surged to 6.75 in just 18 minutes, a difference of more than 9 feet. Now, some 9 hours later, the tide was still rising and falling, as much of the 3 feet within the 12 minutes, according to the preliminary measurements from the tide gauge. Now, at the port of San Luis in central California, the tide level changed more than 2.5 feet in just 12 minutes, according to the preliminary measurements from the NOAA. So tsunami waves or surf waves, what to know? The notion of a tsunami may inspire thoughts of long rides for some intrepid surfers, but its waves are nowhere close to surfable and quite different from the ones at Malibu Beach or Oahu's North Shore. During tsunamis, the entire water column from the surface to the bottom of the ocean gets moved, generating an enormous amount of energy and rushing into land like a flood, often carrying debris. So they are saying, do not try to surf these waves. Tsunami waves are much faster, around 500 miles per hour at the deepest point. That's the speed of a commercial plane at cruising altitude. Though they slow down considerably near the shore, they also don't break into a curl like surfing waves. Wow. So there you have it, you guys. Man, and let me know your thoughts. Just absolutely crazy right now. We're hearing that there was a massive 8.8 earthquake, the 6th largest on record to take place since 1900, which sparked tsunami wave warnings all across the Pacific, Japan, Hawaii, the west coast of the United States, North America, South America, Alaska, you name it. It's spread all across, and now we're hearing that there are volcanic eruptions taking place as well. And again, let me know your thoughts. 1, natural disaster. 2, an act of God. 3, this is a bomb. Or 4, weather manipulation. Put it in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. 1, natural disaster. 2, God is mad at Russia. 3, this is some sort of nuclear bomb test that went off in Russia and was sparked. Or number 4, this is weather manipulation. Put your number in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. These are the theories that I've heard, And again, conspiracy theories, but we're hearing after a little while, some of the conspiracy theories end up not being conspiracy. They end up being real. So wouldn't discredit any of the suggestions that are being passed around social media right now. Just wanted to get your thoughts. I'm seeing various numbers starting to pour into the comments. So, wow, the room is split on this. Let me know your thoughts. Now, we've also got 2,800 people live with me in the room. 1,130 likes. Can we get an extra 200 to get it up to, or 300 to get it up to 1,400? Half of the room to hit the like button for me. That would be awesome if you haven't done so yet and you appreciate the updates. Also, subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. And wow, I am seeing numbers all across the board. There are a ton of people that have different opinions as to what this actually is. So, man, if any more information comes out, I will be sure to share. I'll let you guys know here on the channel. But I'm seeing Alicia is saying this was a bomb, hands down. I'm seeing Alaska Indoor Grows say, be safe, strong, God bless your family. Billy is saying it was Russia. Man, I am seeing tons of different numbers coming in. Dave is saying it is HARP. Man, a lot going on. I will continue to keep you guys up to date as more unfolds. Also, we're hearing that there are a lot of trade deals going on with the United States. We're waiting to find out about that tariff tip that we heard, at least $600 per person that could be going out. The big, beautiful bill has things that are being implemented, and there's also proposals for Social Security coming out, and there's global conflict still taking place between Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Iran, their proxy groups, North Korea, South Korea, China, Taiwan, and the United States is caught up in all of it. So as more information comes out, I will continue to keep you guys up to date. And also, if anything else comes out on this volcanic eruption that is taking place in Russia after this 8.8 magnitude earthquake, I'll be sure to share here on the channel. But that is the latest, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free, and all the articles I'm referencing, they're going to be linked in the description below. I cite the sources, put it on the screen, read right from it, so you know that it is the latest. But that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.